Hello, that is the village of Aldbury in extreme southwest Hertfordshire, about as far away from where we are in Broxbourne as you can get and still be in Hertfordshire. That's the start of our walk. Having driven here and parked where I've parked, I've realised I have actually been here before, and I have actually walked up this little path before as well, so we'll see if I have actually done the whole walk before. Maybe I have. Memory is not what it used to be. But anyway, it's a beautiful day. Sun's trying to break through the clouds, not too hot, nice temperature. There's the Chilterns waiting patiently. He was pulling me like something else coming up the road, really pulling hard. I think he remembers it here as well. It is a nice part of the world. So Aldbury, very old village, mentioned in the Domesday Book of 1083 or something like that. Bury, the suffix bury is Old English for bur, which means fortification. So at some point in the past, that village was a fortified village, which is where it got its name from. Yeah, there's a lovely pub in the village that we drove past, and going to hopefully visit it later on, called the Trooper. And I'll tell you more about that when we're there, but that's got an interesting history. So we're walking up here and we are going to get up to the Ridgeway, which is a long ancient trackway that starts off in Avebury in Wiltshire and ends at the point where this walk ends up going back on itself, in a place called Invinghoe Beacon. It's a length of 87 miles and it's known as the oldest road in Britain, and it's been used since, well, forever. So that's where we're heading to now. So we shall go up this hill and get to the top and then have a look at some nice views. So this is the Ridgeway, ancient old passage stretching 87 miles that has literally been used for thousands of years for people moving animals, carts, soldiers. It's pretty uneven, a bit treacherous underfoot, especially in the wet, I should imagine, but we have the honour to be walking it in their footsteps. So we've just come off the Ridgeway, which is down there, to come up to the top of this little hill called Aldbury Knowers, or Knowers, which is this site here, which is the site of an old Iron Age fort. You can see, well, I can't see any evidence of it, but you can see the location of it. It's the highest ground around here, so that's why it would have been sited here. Presumably none of these trees would be here. It would have had a nice open view of the surrounding countryside and a easily defendable position. But yeah, this is Aldbury Knowers, or Knowers, and we are standing in the exact spot of an old Iron Age hill fort. So we've stopped up at Aldbury Knowers for a little snack for me and Kips. but it's so peaceful up here. You listen to the birds. So many different types of bird song up here. That in the distance there is Stock's house. Rather grand, as Callum would say. It was built in 1773 and bought in 1944 by somebody called Victor Lowndes, who was the part owner of Playboy magazine, and apparently used to have rather interesting parties with bunny girls and whatnottery and shenanigans going on in swimming pools and things. Quite a few celebrities were guests there, and I'm sure had a very nice time eating vol au vents and drinking cups of tea. It's now apparently owned by Sir Walter Swinburne, the horse trainer. So we're on top of Pitstone Hill. That over there, I don't know if you can make it out, see the church spire and the windmill, the black windmill in the field, is the village of Invinghoe. Rather a large industrial complex over there. Might be something to do with the abomination that is HS2. There's a lot of HS2 works around here, which when you see them, especially from up high, are just like a scar on the landscape. But that's where we're heading. That over there, that highest point of land that you can see, is Invinghoe Beacon, which is the end of the Ridgeway. So we're approaching the end of the 87 miles of this old track that's been used for thousands of years, which basically follows a line of chalk hills all the way to that point there. And when we get there, we'll have a nice view and we'll stop for a sandwich and a isotonic drink to recharge the old isotopes. Now that looks a little bit like HS2 damage down there. Like I say, a scar on the landscape. So we're on Invinghoe Beacon, the highest point and the end of the Ridgeway walk. It's about 230 metres high, I think, something like that. We're kind of above the level of those kites that are soaring over there. Just had a bit of picnic, haven't we, Kips? Yes, we have. We've had a few treats, and a bit of my sandwich, and a drink. That, I don't know if you can see over there, is White Lion. Unfortunately, it's not a prehistoric or Stone Age carving into the chalk hills like there is in Wiltshire. It was done in 1933, and it's actually in the grounds of Whipsnade Safari Park. So it's pretty new. But Invinghoe Beacon, where we are now, is an ancient hill fort site and a signal point because of its height, and was used in no less than 4 Harry Potter films. So if you can be bothered, you could have a watch-a-thon of all the Harry Potter films and try and spot the number of times that you notice this hill in them. Beautiful view up here. Kites flying. Birds singing. Lovely day. Amazing. Amazing views. You can literally see for absolutely miles from up here. So we should be starting our route back soon, after a few more jelly babies for energy, and get back to Aldbury and a well-earned drink in the Trooper. Moneyberry Hill, the site of an old Iron Age hill fort. That is the Bridgewater Monument. After Sir Francis's death in 1803, it was decided that there would be a monument built to him, and that's it, to commemorate his great works in canal building. His wife, the Countess of Bridgerton, when she saw the plans for the monument, decided that it was she didn't like the look of it. She thought it was in bad taste, so she wouldn't have it on her estate, so it had to be built out of sight of Ashridge House, which was the family seat at the time. So that's why it's up here and not within the bounds of the Ashridge estate. It's quite big. You can go in it and up to the top. I don't know when they do that, but yeah, it's quite impressive. So we've just had a drink in the Trooper, what used to be called the Valiant Trooper, and before that was called the Royal Oak, built around about 1752, and rumour has it that the Duke of Wellington used to meet here and discuss tactics during the Napoleonic Wars, which is why it changed its name from the Royal Oak to the Trooper. Beautiful pub.